Yeah, my name is John Peterson. I'm a faculty member at Oberlin College in the Environmental Studies program and in the biology program. And we have been, over the last couple decades, developing technology for monitoring and displaying resource use within buildings. And right now, we're working with teachers in Toledo public schools to have them use this technology to sort of engage their students in understanding how the decisions they make in their daily lives influence resource consumption. So electricity, water, gas. In cars, you have a speedometer, you have an odometer, you have these gauges, gas gauge, they tell you how you're doing. Buildings haven't had that in the past. You walk into a building, you have no idea how much energy am I using, how much water, how is that affecting the natural environment. What we're trying to do is to take these resource flows which were invisible, make them visible, make them engaging, make them educational, so that students can ask questions for which answers aren't already known and answer those questions themselves.
This PD is about an environmental dashboard that's been created at Oberlin and is showing all these different meters that are in all these different schools and how we can use the data. It's tracking like the energy for electricity, the energy for water, the energy for gas, and it tracks it in all our different schools, and we can actually share the information with our students to show them how much energy is being used in our school as opposed to other schools, as opposed to schools in other communities, so they can find different ways to be more energy efficient in our school, or just find a way to be a more system thinker, as they put it, within the society as a whole. Like, how can I as an individual conserve more energy or be more energy efficient, or even how am I considered a person who should think about these things.
A really large amount of data available for us to look at and compare our buildings. I like the fact that we can look at all the different high schools. We can compare buildings of roughly the same size and talk about what's being used, what's not being used. Look at when it's being used and try to compare what was going on that day, what was there, what was not there. I think that's a lot of really cool information to be able to use and talk about, and comparing it to bills, relating it to real life stuff, because a lot of my kids are going, why should I care? Well, you can use this at home, drop your bill in half, that kind of stuff.
I think people naturally think about using, this kind of data in STEM-related classes, science, technology, engineering, and math. But in fact, there's a lot of ways in which you're telling a story with these data. You're looking at patterns of resource use over the course of the day, and then you're kind of trying to turn around and ask the question, what is it that people do in the building at these different times that might account for these? So in many ways, this is as much about storytelling as it is about sort of, analytical science. What are the choices that people make? Could they be making different choices that would result in a more sustainable relationship between humans and the rest of the natural world?
This information has been available, but we've not known about it. So now we know about it, we can use it, we can put it to use in our class and actually get use out of technology that's been placed in the buildings, and actually have it be useful information instead of just abstract information, like a lot of lessons. So I think that makes a big difference when you can relate it to something that's actually happening, that you can go and collect the data, and the data is always changing, as opposed to just say, okay, here's an example, throw out arbitrary numbers. I think that makes a big difference as well.
Buildings account for about 40% of electricity consumption in the United States. And so what we do to conserve resources in buildings, it has enormous implications for our relationship with the rest of the natural world.